Hello. Okay, here we go. I have a question for you. What level of Young Living's income disclosure statement, see in the slide, will give you and your family financial freedom? Is it gold? Is it platinum? Diamond? Royal Crown diamond? Think about it. What level would bring true financial freedom to you and your family? The answer is none of them. I know the level you chose would provide a form of freedom to say yes to material things, to donating more to charities, to paying off debt, which is awesome. But will it lead to a lifetime of financial stability, of true freedom? Will it create feelings of comfort and safety and allow you to be prepared for anything that comes your way? No, not necessarily. More money does not automatically bring freedom. It can bring a short-term version, but if one doesn't have good spending and saving habits, if we don't learn how to keep the money, there won't be freedom and stability. Here's the key. No amount of money will bring financial freedom. I have seen it time and again with people with all different careers and at all different income levels. Let me share a bit about my story. I grew up in a family with an abundant financial situation. My father had a career as a well-known professional athlete who did very well. I'm very blessed and thankful for all of the material things that my family provided me. From outward appearances when I was growing up, many would be envious of my family and all the stuff. We had it all, so it looked like from the outside. But inside my home, money was a very stressful topic. There was a lot of arguing over bills and money and what we could afford, especially toward the end of my father's 26-year baseball career. We had nice things. We went on awesome trips. We drove lovely cars. But there was never enough. Looking back, my parents never developed good spending and saving habits. They never had healthy money mindset or were able to get past their limiting beliefs. More money does not change those things. I remember laying in bed one night as a 12-year-old girl, listening to them bicker about money and feeling all those uncomfortable feelings that a child feels when they hear their parents talking about grown-up things. And I looked around my room and I thought of all the amazing things we had, and I was so confused. Why is money such a stressful topic in our home when we have such comfort? And it hit me, and I remember vividly having this epiphany, and it shaped the way I treat and look at money for the next 32 years of my life. If you spend more money than you make, you will have no money. I know, we can laugh, but really it seems so obvious, right? Duh. Yet most Americans spend more money than they make. Most Americans carry debt for consumer goods, for personal spending. It seems like common sense, but it is not at all commonly practiced. And I remember thinking I will never feel that way about money. I don't care how much or how little money I made. I was not going to spend more money than I made, and I was not going to bring this kind of turmoil feelings into my life. That was not how I wanted to feel. This was put to the test right after college when I was a teacher, making less than $20,000 a year, teaching in the inner city school system of Durham, North Carolina, with a small side job waiting tables once a week. And I did not spend more money than I made. I mentally made sure I could cover my basic expenses, and I got really good at prioritizing what I could afford and what I couldn't afford, what was worth spending money on and what wasn't to me. For me, it wasn't a poverty mindset or a scarcity mindset. It wasn't thinking I would never have these things or I didn't deserve these things or me being angry or jealous of people who could afford nicer things. It was important to me because I knew how I would feel living within my means versus the stress of living beyond them. I knew that initial excitement that comes from instant gratification of buying something to feel good that I couldn't afford would lead to terrible feelings of being in debt. And that was not worth it to me. I wanted to feel comfortable and calm. Flash forward to 1998, and I am getting ready to get married to my husband, Patrick. in June of 98. His family had plenty of comforts. His family was a bit different than mine, though, in regards to financial stewardship. They saved and lived well below their means. But he says almost to a point where he wishes they would have enjoyed themselves a little more. Still saved and lived frugally, but enjoyed more things, trips. Before we got married, Patrick's dad gave us this book, The Millionaire Next Door. Has anyone read this? The book's about the habits of millionaires. It's about the idea that the pop culture idea of millionaire as a high-income earner actually isn't rich. They fail to accumulate wealth because they spend money as fast as they can make it. That financially free people live below their means. They are frugal. They plan and strategize their time and money. They believe financial independence is more important than displaying high social status things that they might not be able to truly afford. It cemented for Patrick and I, many of the beliefs that we already had about money and income, and it kept us on a path. It also redefined the term millionaire for us. A millionaire is not someone who makes $1 million. A millionaire is someone who has $1 million. There's a huge difference there. The biggest takeaway from that book became our financial motto. It still is. We say it at least once a month. Live below your means, save and invest for the future, always. When we were engaged to be married, he was finishing up college. He had a 5th football season to play at Duke University due to being injured his senior year, and I was teaching as I had graduated 2 years previous. We were going to move to New York City. He had a job lined up as an investment banker. I was going to be a teacher. We were super excited. And he came to me around Christmas of 97, about 6 months before our wedding, and said that he was getting some interest from NFL scouts to play professional football as a long snapper. If you don't know what a long snapper is, a long snapper, I might have a slide showing it, is someone who snaps the ball to the kicker and punter. That's it. That's all they do. It's a specialist position. They have one job to do, and they do need to be perfect at it every single time they do it. But I remember saying, seriously, they pay people to do that? That's a job? Okay, cool. Let's try it. 4 months later, he was drafted by the Chicago Bears, and we were surprised, we were shocked, we were excited. This was all so unexpected, and we were just going to take everything 1 week at a time. We didn't even think this would last the summer. The average NFL player plays less than 3 years, so we were just looking at this as a fortunate opportunity to get a jump start on life. Little savings, and we were not going to let this opportunity pass by. I had also seen from my father's experiences numerous professional athletes not practice the skill of living below their means, saving and investing for the future, and that was not what we wanted in our marriage. This shaped how we dealt with money, how we saved, how we invested during those early years, and continues today 20 years later. We always focused on saving money first. And you guys, his first 2 to 3 seasons, he made around a high gold platinum average, about great money, not knocking it, but not the millions of dollars that probably popped into your head. Although my story would be absolutely no different if they were those amounts. We stayed steadfastly by that whole live below your means, save and invest for the future. We always put savings first. We would get comments from people, teasing, joking comments throughout his entire career, both from players and from friends, that we weren't driving the cars they expected us to, or living in the type of house they thought we should live in at that time. We weren't living up to the stereotypes they held for professional athletes. And sometimes in the locker room, the teasing was actually quite fierce and annoying to my husband. But it all came back to that millionaire next door mentality. It wasn't about how anyone looked at us. It wasn't about how we looked to them. It wasn't about getting teased. It was us making sure our future was safe and comfortable, and we were laying the groundwork. We focused on saving and investing for several reasons. Number one is in the NFL, you get your salary paid over 17 consecutive weeks, meaning you do not get that NFL salary the other 35 weeks of the year. So we do need to be aware of living throughout the rest of the year. But also, since the NFL career is usually so short, We were still so shocked he was even doing this at this level, and we looked to it like a gift. We wanted to save as much as possible so that when it did end, which it has to, and it will, and you never know when it's going to happen, we would get back to normal life. We'd move to New York City, and we'd have a little rainy day fund to help us out. Each week, well, at least each of those 17 weeks, we would put all the money we earned away with our trusted financial advisor, bank, and just pull out what we needed for our expenses. We focused on saving, but also investing for the future. The most important thing for us was laying the groundwork for our future and not straying from our habits. 1 year turned to 2, turned to 3, turned to 10, turned to 16 years in the NFL. And I think it was right around year 10 when we looked at each other and we're like, wow, so I guess we're not moving to New York City. I guess this turned out to be a legit job. But we kept the same system. Yes, his income grew. Yes, we enjoyed ourselves more. We bought more things. We donated larger amounts. We went on nicer trips. But we always put all of our money away first and pulled out one of what we needed monthly. In fact, if a big expense did come up, like replacing a dryer or fixing a flooded basement, we felt like we were asking for money that was ours. That was off script. I don't know how to do that. There was a point when we were saving and investing up to 60% of his after-tax income. We maxed out retirement savings. We invested conservatively with the same trusted professional. Football can end at any time. There are no such thing as guaranteed contracts. And we wanted to feel safe and comfortable when that happened because it would happen. We just didn't know when, and we did not want to go back. And ultimately, this gave us the financial freedom that provides us safety and comfort today. Side note, I do think I'm using the word safety and comfort too much. We can talk on Friday. So what is financial freedom? To me, financial freedom is the ability to maintain your lifestyle. Financial freedom does not have to equal fancy cars, expensive clothes, multiple homes, jets, and yachts, although it certainly can be part of it at a certain level. Financial freedom means that you get to make decisions without being overly stressed about the financial impact because you have prepared for them. You control your finances instead of being controlled by them. Financial freedom is having options. Financial freedom is the ability to say yes to things that are important to you. Donate to charities, travel the world, to contribute when bad things happen in your family, job loss, illness, death. My family experienced this in November of 2006 when it became very clear that my youngest brother, who was 25 years old, Taylor, was in need of help. He battled depression and he was clearly in crisis mode. And as family does, we flew down to Charlotte, North Carolina, and we helped him. We packed up his things. We drove a U-Haul back to Chicago. We got him treatment. We got him help. We got him the support. We provided a place in our home for him to live. The things that he needed to work on beating his illness. He lived in my home for 3.5 years. He became part of our community. He sang in 2 local churches. He taught at a local school. And while those 3.5 years were incredibly stressful on many levels, full of ups and downs, hospitalizations, researching new treatments, new avenues for him, I am so thankful that we could focus on helping and loving him and not being stressed out by the financial component. And on March 9, 2010, when he passed away, my husband, daughter, and I were able to rush back from a Disney World vacation cut short to oversee preparations, organize friends and family coming into town, and to say goodbye to him without arguing and stressing over who was going to pay for an unexpected funeral. The stuff that doesn't matter. The money doesn't matter. That's freedom. Let me just write that down real quick. The money doesn't matter, not stuff. Bad things, sad things are going to happen to all of our families. And time and again, we aren't prepared. And people suffer from the financial stress of dealing with those situations, which takes away from the time and energy that you want to be spending on loving, supporting, and being present and helping during those times. I feel like I need a segue here, and I don't know what it is. Segue? What if you chose to live below your means, save and invest for the future, to prepare? What are the most important things that you want to provide for your family? We often hear about a rock star or a professional athlete who blows through tons of money, and we sit back, myself included, guys, I still do this on occasion, and we think, what an idiot. If I had X million dollars, I would never do that. The fact is, for every single person you hear about in the media, there are thousands of dentists, doctors, business people, network marketing professionals at the top of their companies who are doing the same exact thing. You just don't hear about it in the media because the media doesn't care. I know a lot of broke millionaires, y'all. These people live beyond their means. They don't save and invest for the future. They have never learned good habits. They have a poor and unhealthy money mindset. They have limiting beliefs that they've not gotten past, even at income levels that most of us would associate with freedom. Making more money is awesome, but more money will not change poor habits, lack of skills, limiting beliefs and mindset. More money just puts a giant magnifying glass on all of the things that are going on now. Changing mindsets, beliefs, and habits now will give you the ability to amass a level of freedom. And that's like a really stupid sentence, but I don't know what else to say there. So something segue. If you want to attract greater financial abundance, study wealth, read books, listen to podcasts, learn to shift your mindset. Imagine if you really wanted great health. You just wait for it to hit you in the head? No. You study nutrition, essential oils, supplements, detoxing your home, exercise techniques. When we wanted to learn about oils and young living, we plugged into resources. We read books, we asked friends, we watched videos. We're not certified aromatherapists. We don't need to be. But we plugged in and we're learning. The same is true in the area of finance. The same is true with money. You don't have to be an accountant or a certified financial planner. My husband and I aren't experts, but we read and we listen. We don't agree or resonate with everything we see or hear, but we love learning. The Quote of the Day podcast has Financial Fridays, 8 minutes every Friday. It's easy peasy, continually plugging in to shape and keep your mindset going. What is money in service to you? Is it for things? Is it for travel? Is it for church? Is it for donations? Is it to feel safe and comfortable? Is there enough for everyone in this room? Everyone in the world? Or is there not enough to go around? Limiting beliefs can hold us back. We all have some level of limiting beliefs. They're disempowering and they keep us stuck. Maybe you can never imagine not having debt. Maybe you could never fathom being able to pay cash for a house. Maybe you could never imagine being a Royal Crown diamond or silver. Maybe you tell yourself you can't make more money than your parents, or you can't make more money than your spouse, or that making money is bad, that people with financial freedom are greedy. Do you tell yourself things like, I'm not good enough? No one likes me? I don't want to be rejected? That's impossible? It's not going to work anyway? I'm not special? What stories do you tell yourself? What excuses do you make? What stories have other people told you that you aren't worthy, you aren't capable? What negative patterns are you repeating? I used to think I wasn't capable speaking in front of people. Well, that weren't children, at least. I was a teacher. I could speak in front of kids. Get me in front of adults. No way. I would shy away from opportunities that arose. For many years, I thought I wasn't good enough or didn't have anything important to say. I spent most of my life being talked to like my father's daughter and my husband's wife. At dinner parties, people want to talk about them. Like, I want to say them like my husband and my father, so I don't know what to say there.